He's just come out and said this basically on TV.
I went from amused to legitimately angry. So we were guessing what this would cost. Everybody here from the United States buys groceries, and we didn't pay any attention to costs as we were just putting in the cart what we would actually eat over a week. And we all came in around $400, about $400. It was $104 US here.
It's interesting, like $400 a week. Like, for how many people? Is it just for himself? Like, I wouldn't spend that on me. $400, that's 300 odd quid a week. Now, it depends if you're talking about for a whole group of you, for a family of however many, then okay, things are changing. So I don't know, this is too vague to be of any use, but it's a bit of a shocker.
And that's when you start to realize that ideology maybe doesn't matter as much as you thought, corruption. If you take people's standard of living and you tank it through filth and crime and inflation.
I mean, so people who say, make America great again, the reason they are able to say that is because they denigrate America so much that they just perceive it as absolute rubbish, so that they can fight for a change, for something new, for, you know, whoever, Trump or whatever it is. And then these people have the audacity to accuse, you know, people on the other end of the political spectrum to them as hating America. And actually, when you listen to the rhetoric of people like Tucker Carlson, if you didn't know any better, you'd think he absolutely despises America. He despises it. Just listen to what he says. This is what he thinks America is.
Corruption. If you take people's standard of living and you tank it through filth and crime and inflation, and they literally can't buy the groceries they want, at that point, maybe it matters less what you say or whether you're a good person or a bad person. You're wrecking people's lives in their country, and that's what our leaders have done to us. And coming to a...
So his leaders, American leaders, have wrecked the lives of people in their country. They can't afford to buy groceries because of filth and corruption and crime.
Russian grocery store, the heart of evil, and seeing what things cost and how people live, it will radicalize you.
So all he's saying is that a place where something is cheaper, finding that place where things are just cheaper will radicalize you, without understanding how economics works, without understanding that the more money people have, the more you're going to get inflation. The more you're going to get inflation, you know, the more things are going to cost, right? And that's a sign of an affluent society. There's all sorts of other stuff going on here. This is like, this guy is either a complete economics ignoramus and a vacuous douchebag, or he's insanely disingenuous, or both.
Against our leaders. That's how I feel anyway. Radicalized.
Oh, he's seen a bunch of groceries that this is just, again, we don't know what he's putting there. There's no verification here. And he's saying, oh, it's $100 and it would have cost $400 back in the States. And therefore, the States is filthy and corrupt and criminal. Because these guys have got cheaper supermarkets, he says, as he goes to Aldi. I bet you, right, if you don't know Aldi, it's like your cheapest supermarket you can get in the UK. It's a German supermarket chain. You've got Lidl and Aldi. They came to the UK probably 10 years ago, maybe a little bit more. And they kind of really mixed up the supermarket world in the UK. They're just your cheapest, right, essentially. Now, he's saying, oh, look, it's $100 here, and we would spend $400 on this in the US. Yeah, but mate, Tucker Carlson, the last time you shopped in Aldi was, never, right? You ain't buying jack in Aldi in the US. And so it's just the whole premise. Like, I always want to question everything, of course. It's just the nature of how I do things. But man, I just want to go to town on this. Now, someone else has gone to town on this. The Tucker Carlson grocery price video, Russia is so cheap you'll be radicalized, folks, is tragic and funny. My guy, the grocery bill you're rhapsodizing about is 70% of the median Russian weekly salary. This is what he's not talking about. He's not talking about, oh, it's so expensive in the US. Yeah, and you get paid an absolute ton more. That's why. That's economics, mate. Ignore Tucker and many accounts spamming the video. Russia is in a well-documented food affordability crisis. Even before Putin's disastrous invasion, Russians struggled to afford food. Now it's so bad, Putin felt compelled to apologise for skyrocketing egg prices. Tucker probably shouldn't retire to Russia and take a pension. With his fancy taste in groceries and as an average Russian pensioner, he'd be spending 43% of his monthly pension on a single grocery store trip. But